The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, is working in partnership with the government of Sierra Leone to put an end to preventable maternal death, to unmet needs for family planning, and to gender-based violence, including harmful practices such as early and forced marriage and female genital mutilation. One area of such support goes towards supporting the government of Sierra Leone in the elimination of obstetric fistula by improving quality of maternal and neonatal care services, enhancing human resource for health with particular focus on midwifery, and ensuring availability of life-saving maternal health and family planning commodities to the last mile.
The government of Sierra Leone is taking a holistic approach in actually trying to address the issue of obstetric fistula within the continuum of RMNCAH, And as some of the steps, we ensure that women get the family planning facilities, services that they need. In case the women actually now get pregnant, we provide for them antenatal care facilities. With that, we ensure that women are monitored, are observed, are cared for, the needs and other things throughout the period of pregnancy. Again, if the pregnancy goes to term, what the ministry have done with all its partners, and which UNFPA is very, very, very key in all this, as I've been saying from the beginning to the end in the planning, the execution, is that we have taken the health services close to the people by getting health care facilities so close to the people that when it is time for you to deliver, you don't have to walk too long, you get the services close to you and deliver. So these are all done not with the ministry alone, because we cannot do it alone. We cannot be everywhere. We don't even have the resources. So we rely on partners like UNFPA, our traditional partners, other UN agencies, and other donor partners. So UNFPA is part and parcel of all these things.
Obstetric fistula, a hole that develops in the birth canal, usually caused by prolonged obstructed labor, remains one of the major complications of pregnancy and childbirth. One of the most serious injuries of childbearing is obstetric fistula. Most women who develop fistula remain untreated for their entire lives and are often neglected, banned from their family and community, and suffer from serious socio-economic challenges. Data on the magnitude of obstetric fistula is scanty, but it is estimated that over 2,400 women live with obstetric fistula in Sierra Leone. UNFPA continues to partner with the Ministry of Health and Sanitation and other local agencies like Aberdeen Women's Centre and Haikal Foundation to provide care and support to survivors of obstetric fistula over the past years.
Aberdeen Women's Centre have been working with UNFPA over the last 10 years. And during that time, UNFPA have facilitated the surgeons here in providing free surgery for over 1,700 women, which is astounding, really. So it's a very key partnership between Aberdeen Women's Centre and UNFPA. The funds go directly to facilitating the free surgery for the women and the care. So from screening trips, the funds are allocated to screening for patients, bringing them to us, and actually providing the medical care from start to finish.
With funding from the Government of Iceland, UNFPA in 2020 worked with the NGOs, Haikal Foundation and the Aberdeen Women's Centre to conduct community mobilization activities in selected communities. In the same year, 260 women were screened for suspected obstetric fistula. Of these women, 129 were found to have fistula and had surgery to repair their fistula and restore their dignity. 31 of these survivors received livelihood skills as part of their rehabilitation and reintegration.
So we're working closely and developing the partnership with Haikal at the moment. As you say, they focus very much on social reintegration and helping the women develop their skills in crafts and things that they can go on to do when they get back into their communities.
So I get this problem, the peace for myself. So I do the problem take about 9 years. I get the problem. So I go cottage back, then go watch me. They refer me at this hospital. So I can at this hospital and can't do my operation. So I don't come well now. I don't be feel fine because I need able to mingle with me complain. I need to sit down here for long because I got no more peace to come up. And I'm feel.
When the patients get better, we train them in all the different areas. Soap making, garra tie and dye, weaving, making shoes, making bags, sewing school uniforms, and so on and so forth. And we have even gone to an extent now that we have established catering services. Literacy and numeracy is one of the areas that we engage them in, and small business courses, because at the end of the year, UNFPA normally gives them seed money. We have to train them how to manage this seed money so sustainability can continue in their lives after they leave here.
And I feel fine and I'm glad. And I'm glad you're happy. Because I don't pack now. I go to canvas soon. Because it's me, I don't get my body. So I can't get fine. I go. So I go mingle with me company. And I don't talk, man, I tell you thank you. I tell the doctor and thank you, the nurses. And now they support me.
If you provide the funding, there has to be a local partner that is on the ground to ensure that things are carried. So, like in the case of Haikal, she has personnel who can go into the various places, find out about children, about these girls, and they feel more comfortable talking to them.
Improving access to family planning services enables women and couples to voluntarily achieve their desired family size and spacing of their children, and improves maternal and child health outcomes. The availability of family planning commodities also helps in averting unintended pregnancies, unsafe abortions, and preventable maternal death. Well-planned pregnancies enable women to receive quality care and timely interventions to avoid complications such as obstetric fistula. Quality family planning services are therefore critical to the elimination of obstetric fistula. UNFPA supports the Ministry of Health and Sanitation in the quantification and forecasting, procurement, transportation, storage and distribution of contraceptives and life-saving maternal health medicines to all districts and health facilities that provide family planning and maternal health services. This support enhances the right of women and girls to have access to quality, integrated sexual and reproductive health and family planning services, which is critical in achieving the 3 transformative goals of the United Nations Population Fund, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the goals of Sierra Leone's medium-term National Development Plan.
This unit supported by UNFPA with the do family planning now. Because when you plan a family, let me say at most 2 years, then there is a least complication for maternal mortality and other complications. So we get so many products them where we use for family planning. We get implants, we get emergency pills, we get combined pills, we get microlitrin at the progesterone only. There are so many.
They talk on the commodities where we they get from DMS. na me dey in charge of the pharmacy. As far as I'm concerned, since I take over as the pharmacist, we no get stock out, especially for family planning commodities. We dey get them in time. The commodities then they enough, and if even the follow up for patients then they really can for make use of them, because then they get the education as we dey go outreach. We dey tell them wetin are the importance, wetin are the effect if they not join the thing.
In its commitment to deliver a world where every childbirth is safe, UNFPA is supporting the country to improve the quality of services for pregnant and postnatal women to prevent maternal mortality and morbidity. This support targets 3 referral hospitals, among them the Princess Christian Maternity Hospital, PCMH in Freetown, and the government hospitals in Bo and McKinney, which are the main referral centers for other hospitals and community health centers in Sierra Leone. To ensure quality of care for women with obstetric complications, UNFPA, with financial support from the United Kingdom's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, has supported these 3 hospitals with establishment of high dependency units, a specialized section of the maternity wing used for the care of pregnant and postnatal women with life-threatening complications related to pregnancy or childbirth.
The high dependency unit is very vital, especially to maternity, because we get a lot of maternal death. So, and the ward not conducive for treat critically ill patients. So for critically ill patients, they need special equipment, special gadgets, special monitoring skills for treat them people then. So, and they need a confined setting where the environment quiet and specialized trained nurses. So UNFPA being helpful identify that gap. Now the McKinney Regional Hospital maternity. So then select participants, train the participants them for 10 days, then identify space and furnish them from bed, equipment, everything to monitors, oxygen concentrators, teto drugs, everything, then carry it, the place well equipped.
Initially, we dey get high maternal deaths within the maternity complex, but since they open this unit, these units don't help for reduce most of the cases then we're not due for die. Would they help for give them life? This unit they give life to a dying patient.
In support of the government of Sierra Leone's effort to eliminate obstetric fistula and end preventable maternal deaths, UNFPA in Sierra Leone recognizes the valuable role that skilled birth attendants, especially midwives, play. Midwives remain at the front line in the fight towards the reduction of maternal and newborn mortality and morbidity, including the fight to end obstetric fistula. Midwives have contributed to Sierra Leone's gradual improvement in maternal health indicators, especially the reduction of maternal mortality by almost 40% over a 5-year period, from 1,165 per 100,000 live births in 2013 to 717 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2019, as indicated by the 2019 Sierra Leone Demographic and Health Survey. This improvement was made possible with the contribution of healthcare providers, especially midwives. Since 2010, UNFP supports the schools of midwifery in Bo, Freetown and McKinney to increase the number of competent midwives to address the gap in the midwifery workforce. From an initial 95 practicing midwives in 2009, the country now has over 3,382 midwives contributing to national development.
UNFPA sat with us and we've planned and we've really invested heavily with support from UNFPA in the production, in the manpower production, especially for midwives. As we used to train about 30, 50 per year, but now we are producing over 150 a year with their support. And we've ensured that every chiefdom in this country have now midwives, where they used to be only in the hospitals or the district headquarter towns.
UNFPA has been a long-lasting and trusted partner, since the establishment of this institution. So far, out of the 689 midwives who have graduated, UNFPA have provided support for closer to 500 midwives who have also been deployed in all districts of this country, and not only district headquarters, but the midwives that we train here are mainly deployed in rural areas, remotest areas of this country, to improve on maternal and infant health.
One of the greatest things we UNFPA don't do now, Sierra Leone, for train midwives, that is the first thing first, because you get for empower somebody for can do the work, so they're able to build human capacity. And so when they don't give you the skills with the support of the government, and then they give you the commodities, then they really respond to the commodities, and the commodities that we say they make good use of, and we give the communities and where they come from, and because it's free.
It's again where I go to na McKinney. I really appreciate her, and they play a good impact on the maternity, the labor room, because one, they teach you how to deliver woman. In this case, I really the practical and not be the joke with them when I be the go. Now I play the great role now the Kabbalah Government Hospital.
So from conception up until the time of delivery, now like every normal pregnancy. But then me not be no say me picking no engage. Because it had been they done, but then they also is supposed for they for liable deliver. Now only when we do several ultrasounds and scan them, they realize there's something wrong. If I tend for go the normal way, I might lose myself and lose me picking. But then at the end of the day, because we do scan, we end up for do elective CS, and then now I hold me picking and myself they are life healthy and strong. So just one of the medical miracles. I just want to say appreciate the facilities and the opportunities where they were available to every woman now.
The role of midwives in ensuring pregnant women go through pregnancy and childbirth successfully can also be seen through the experience of a happy mother who, with support from a trained midwife in Alkalia, successfully gave birth to quadruplets in the northern district of Kabbalah. The increased number of midwives and their interaction with traditional birth attendants has also led to a positive outcome. One of such outcomes is the role that TBAs now play in referring pregnant women to health facilities.
Well, why are they refer patient in hospital for deliver now is enough fine? Because all the instruments where hospital gets in a village. So for that way they refer them. Then inside that refer, they themselves they follow them for see if then they follow up with what they do.
Child marriage, a human rights violation, threatening girls' lives and health, and it limits their future prospects. UNFPA works with NGOs like Women in Crisis Movement, Find Sierra Leone, the Office of the First Lady, and the campaign to end child marriage. Traditional leaders also play a great role in all of this.
What the paramount chiefs have done is that we have developed some bylaws, and it's a question of monitoring, and because we work with the women leaders in our various communities, they are the people we look up to.
The funding support that the Government of the United Kingdom, the Government of Iceland, the Government of the People's Republic of China, and other partners are providing to the United Nations Population Fund country office in Sierra Leone has been of strategic value to the work that the agency does in improving the quality of sexual and reproductive health services, including an end to obstetric fistula and ultimately a reduction in maternal death.
The government of Sierra Leone, we actually do appreciate tremendously, and we cherish all the support that UNFPA is giving us. And we know UNFPA is not doing it alone. They are getting support from Government of Iceland, the Government of the People's Republic of China, and also not forgetting the British government through DFID, or FCDO as it is called now. So we really do appreciate this, and your support have been very tremendous. They have been very handy and they have been timely. I mean, if we move maternal mortality downwards, it's because of these supports.
But with all of the support that the government of Sierra Leone has received through its partnership with UNFPA, how has this been of great impact to the country's health sector?
This really is life transforming work. As I was mentioning earlier, we have patients who come to us and their lives have been, all but ruined by the tragic events surrounding their delivery. But when you can take a patient from that point and move her through a transition of healing, it's just the most incredible thing to watch.
They are well, they are back into the community, and they have restored their dignity. Before, when they come here, they are sick, they are insecure, they are an outcast, but by the time they leave here, UNFPA has given them their womanhood. That is the greatest impact anybody can have.